Hey y'all, you know what it is. It's another episode of the Married at First Sight recap. I'm Brenda, and I don't know. Married at First Sight it's addictive because what do? We keep on watching. We keep trying to see what'll happen with these couples, but it's it's a train wreck. And I mean, I just saw that another couple from a previous season is officially divorcing, and something has to change. So I want y'all to let me know what needs to change for Married at First Sight, because this is a mess and we can see it already in episode 6. They haven't even left the honeymoon, because before, the honeymoons would be okay, and it would be when they moved in where we would see a lot of issues. But here, these honeymoons, right? All right, so we're gonna start this week with Dominique and McKinley. Again, like y'all know, my notes are to the side, so you'll see me look over for a second to make sure I am covering everything. So Dominique and McKinley. So Dom said that McKinley is a 6.5 with attraction and romantic at a 4. Yeah, she's not feeling him. She doesn't like his humor. She probably thinks he's okay cute, but I don't know that she feels like he's drop dead gorgeous, or drop dead handsome, or whatever we say about men. Yeah. And I also feel like the producers had to make her call her mom on camera. I think they wanted her mom to say something shady, but her mom really didn't, at least as far as we could tell online. On the computer, as far as we could tell, on FaceTime. Duh. Her mom really didn't say much, so the producers didn't get what they wanted, most likely. Dom talked about being more adventurous, and that was a huge thing for her. McKinley is a little more laid back. He's a little scared. And that horse thing, they had the horse excursion thing, and Dom was not feeling what McKinley had to say. She was not feeling it. And he just was kind of weird about what he has done and what he hasn't done, and kind of making it difficult for her to read him. So by the end of the episode, he was apologizing to her. So we'll see where that goes. And even during the apology, I've never seen her with a straight face. So it was just really interesting seeing her like this and no smile, because she's always smiling. So that's all I have for Dominique and McKinley. I'm gonna try my hardest to push us through, right? Got Clinton, Gina. I like the floating basket in the pool. I feel like I want to get that one day. The floating basket with the little fruit and drinks on it. I think that would be really cute. And then we're talking about the future, and Clint, of course, is excited to take Gina sailing. That's his thing. And that's like what I said before. He wants someone who can come into his world. So it's going to be difficult getting him to go into somebody else's world. And it really doesn't help when her world is all about her business. So I'm kind of curious why she's on this show, if she's just starting a new venture within her business and having a standalone building and all that type of stuff. Like, why are you on the show if you don't have time? If you don't have time for a relationship, you shouldn't be on the show. If you are that busy, you should not be on the show. You don't need to be married yet, because how are you going to handle this person and attend to their needs or whatever else? It just doesn't work, believe me. And so I think her schedule's going to be weird, because she'll probably go in to work at regular hours, but then she'll be doing other stuff off hours and thinking about the business, and she just needs some hobbies. And he's kind of like, look, my job is 8 to 5. I get in, I get out. He has a little more work-life balance, it seems like, and she does not. She has work balance. So we'll see kind of how that works. Also, I'll get further deeper later into the group conversations and what all happened. And then I'll, come back to what they were talking about with each other regarding that. And I just overall think for Gina and Clint that, and in general for all of the couples, there needs to be some sort of expert or counseling intervention either before they go on the honeymoon or while they're on the honeymoon, just to make sure that they don't start off wrong, that they're communicating already, because all of this is the foundation for what happens when they move in. And we already see through this episode that it doesn't look like there's a lot of hope for some of these couples, even just going in to the move-in part. So that is pretty much it for Clint and Gina for me, besides the bigger group event. So we'll talk a little bit more about them when we talk about the group. Jasmine and Aris. Okay, so Jasmine and Aris start off with professional massages. They getting relaxed, so I thought that was cute, giving professional massages. But then Jasmine gives Aris a massage, and I was kind of like, one, it didn't feel like, it felt like a massage I would give my mom or something like that. Like somebody or a friend. One of my friends is like, oh man, I got this thing in my back, and I kind of just rubbed it back a little bit. It didn't feel like anything to me. It didn't look like anything to me. And then I also and I wonder if she just didn't want to have him massage her or something like that, or maybe they didn't show it. But I hope that he massaged her too. Like, how's she gonna massage him and she don't get a massage from him, So that's all I kind of felt about that. I also felt like Jasmine kind of reads a little too far into some of his comments. I think that if she could let loose just a little bitty bit, it could help their, not get caught up on he's never been in love, not get caught up on a natural progression of liking each other, all that type of stuff. I think if she didn't get caught up on that, then maybe they could figure some things out. But yeah, I'm not sure. Also later on, when Aris is kind of recapping, Aris and Jasmine are recapping the experience that they had with the group, and Aris, I forgot Nicole's name, and I mean, it's so real, because sometimes if you don't see these people all the time and you don't know them, of course you're gonna forget their names. But I thought that was funny. Also, I think that they are not being intimate at all, and I think that's the problem. It's honestly worse than sex. Because you kind of know, like, all right, we don't have to have sex right now, but if they're not doing anything besides just sitting next to each other, that is definitely going to give friend vibes. It's not going to give romantic partner vibes. If you don't kiss or, have deep conversations, something that kind of opens you up to really feeling connected, and that is going to keep Aries from falling in love, period. And that's kind of what I felt. I felt like Jasmine needs to chill out about the love thing. She's too much in her head. I think Aries needs to stop running his mouth. We'll hear that a little bit later in the group conversation. And I think that, yeah, that's what I think about them. I think that they need to experience some level of intimacy before they both really close the door on a romantic relationship and it ends up becoming just a friendship. So that's Jasmine and Aries. Nicole and Chris. Nicole and Chris are the complete opposite. They love to cuddle. They love to cuddle. They in there, you know, cuddling with each other, really close with each other and stuff like that. And that's what a lot of the other couples are missing. And I really appreciated that Chris talked about wanting to build the emotional connection, but also making sure that Nicole knows that she's desired. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people miss, is that you have to feel emotionally connected to this person, and that makes the physical connection even deeper. And Chris gets it. So I'm really excited to kind of see how that plays out for them. That hopefully they'll continue to build, because they've had the deepest conversations out of everybody, at least as far as we've been shown. So I think that'll be great for them. And I just think that's a really good sign. The conversations that they're having with each other, building trust with each other, it's really huge. And just think they have the best conversations out of the 5 couples, period. Like, they have conversations that are more than just, oh, what time do you go to work? What time do you get off? Do you love your mom? You know, like really basic conversations. Nicole and Chris are going for it. So that's them. And then Shaquille and Kirsten. So I love Kirsten's outfits. They're just super cute. She gets some really cute outfits for the honeymoon. She knew she was going to be on TV and she was coming with it. So that was good. And I thought their dance was really cute when Shaquille and Kirsten were dancing and, you know, learning the dance. I thought that was cute. And they were having fun together, which I really liked. And I thought that was good for them, because I wasn't sure, like, if they even enjoyed anything, if they had interest outside of work. So that was good. Later, Shaquille was gossiping, and I really liked that. I really didn't like that, especially on camera. Like, don't stop gossiping. Keep it to yourself, especially the men's business. Keep the men's business to yourself. And then later in the episode, they were arguing, and I felt like it was kind of pointless, because Kirsten was talking about how he jokes too much or something, and how some of it just isn't funny, and how it frustrates her. And I get it, but at the same time, I think that she's nitpicking a little too early. It's only like day 3 or 4. Like, you can chill out and let him, you know, be, and then kind of see if he's continuing to get on your nerves or not. So that's kind of how I felt about Shaquille and Kirsten. Now I could get into some of these group conversations. Go get into some of the group, right? So in the beginning, they had the group meeting. So they brought all the couples together, and they're sitting talking under the gazebo thing. And everybody was being kind of cool and just, all right, how's everything going? You know, really, really chill. But then, of course, when we get to Clint and Gina kind of brushes over how, you know, they're just trying to get to the connection piece because they're not physically connected, something like that, and or physically attracted to each other, whatever. So then Clint is like, yeah, I normally date slender, more athletic women. And everybody's looking like, oh shoot, here Clint goes. And there's this whole debate going on online. I'm sure if you search this video, you've seen all of them about, you know, Gina calling Clint a ginger and what that looks like, versus Clint talking about his preferences and being slender and athletic. And it's the root of all of this is that they aren't really all that attracted to each other. That's the root of it, right? And Gina hurt Clint's feelings But in essence, she did it in private on TV, but in private because it was the two of them having a conversation, and he did it amongst everybody. So I think that if he had done it, if he had said that same thing to her in private, it might have been taken a little bit better than him having that conversation in public. So at this point, she's kind of pissed off because he's kind of called out her weight and all of that type of stuff. And she claims she's one size, but I'm kind of like, girl, I don't know about that. Just, it's okay to be a thickums. It's okay to be thick, girl. Just because he don't want thick don't mean you can't be thick, can you? Okay? So that was the biggest thing during that group event. And then we had the horseback riding in the water. I thought it was pretty cool. Now we know that but McKinley didn't like it. McKinley was not feeling it. But I thought it was pretty cute. Like, they went around the circle, went in the water, all that type of stuff. Like, why not? I rode a horse in the water. That's a cool thing to be able to say on your 2 truths and a lie for work. I drove a horse in the water in Jamaica. You know, cool stuff. So that was nice. So then they had girl time and guy time. Now in the girl time, Dominique talked about the complaining that McKinley was doing and how he's always complaining and how unattractive that is. Jasmine talked a little bit about how Eris is making her feel, and not having sex. But I'm kind of like, Jasmine, you didn't even want to answer his question about sex. So, of course y'all aren't having sex. So, we'll see what's going on with them. And, of course, everybody talked about how they were offended by Clint. You know, the girls rallied around Gina, that type of thing. Now, on the guy side, now this was interesting because Clint, he was Dr. Phil. He was giving everybody advice about their marriages when clearly his is about to crumble. So that was interesting. And then also we're finding that Mac's coping mechanism is joking because he's nervous and because he's introverted. And that's another reason why I think they should have sessions with experts early before they even get home, so that they could tap on some of these things before that's the thing that's lasting in their marriage, right? Shaq was talking about how Kirsten calls him Martin Luther King Jr. and I'm kind of like, well, you kind of do come off preachy. Like, let's call you preacher man. So that's Shaquille. I think she's telling the truth. And then Eris said that he is not really attracted to Jasmine. And then maybe it's like a 4 out of 10. And I'm like, ooh, 4 out of 10, that is not good. That's worse than what Dom said about McKinley. So that means it's really, really bad. And he wants a thick woman. He wants a thickums. And Jasmine is a little more slender. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. Hopefully they can find a moment to be intimate with each other. And I mean talking intimacy or just dealing with each other intimacy, right? And then Mac decided to say that Gina is sexy. And I was like, Mac, that is going to go back to somebody. Somebody is going to tell that you said that Gina is sexy. You just said that another man's wife is sexy. That's not what you're supposed to do, boo. That's not what you're supposed to do. So, I don't know. That was the guy time. And then Shaq goes back and tells Kirsten. Shaq goes back and tells Kirsten that Eric said he's not attracted to Jasmine. I'm just like, really? You know Kirsten's gonna text Jasmine and tell her the deal. So that's where I was saying that Aris is Shaq was being a little gossip, and I didn't really care for that. So that's pretty much everything that happened for episode 6. Episode 6 of Married at First Sight, Nashville. It is going to be interesting because we're going to see, next week we'll see the end of the honeymoons, and we'll see them going home and get into the apartments. So we'll see, because we know from the previews that something is happening with Dom where she's moving out of the apartment. So it's looking like maybe she didn't even quite get moved in. So are we going to see that next episode? I'm not sure. Might be the episode after that, because you know they're going to drag this on forever. So that's it. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.